on, people? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How y'all feeling today? Y'all good? Are you good? I hope if you have some sun, you got out here and you had some sun today. Very, very important for you right now, especially if you're going through a fast, like myself. Yeah. Peace, chosen ones. If you have found my channel, it's possible that you may be a light worker. It's possible that you resonate with this message. It is possible that you're on a difficult journey, and it is possible you have gotten through some things in your life that has transformed you. It's possible that you're feeling lonely right now, but you're never alone. It's possible that you know more information and you're more conscious than most of your close family and friends. It's possible that it's difficult for you to go out in public these days because it seems as if everybody's staring at you like they already know who you are. It's possible that sometimes when you're out in public, you see the same person twice in different places as if they're watching you and follow you. It's possible. If that resonated with anybody, just let me know below. It's possible that your appetite has changed. It's possible that you may even be on a fast. It's possible that you've made some difficult decisions in your life where you have separated from family and friends. It's possible that you're about to make some more difficult decisions so you can become lighter and more dense in this, or lighter in this experience, because your soul doesn't want to exist in a dense body held onto a matrix that really doesn't serve it or serve the future self of it anymore. Because we're about to move to the next level, and here's a question that we must ask. A serious question we must ask ourselves. What if? That's a question. Whatever comes out of your mouth after that, are you prepared for the answer? See, a lot of us do not want to ask ourselves these questions because we really aren't ready for the answer. We have had to endure. Don't come up here meowing while I'm talking. She always do this. Don't start. Always want attention. This cat over here always want attention. Always. Every time I go live, she come out of nowhere. Anyway. All right, so look. And she threw me off. But like I said, the question that you must ask yourself, that I've been asking myself lately, what if the whole reality as I knew it wasn't the reality that I thought it was? And in order to go to the next level, I have to let go of every single thing I knew about this reality. Every single person, every single material possession, every single idea about ourselves in order to go to the next level. Are you willing to do that? What if every book that we ever read was a lie and only put in front of our face because it was trying to direct us to a certain part of what it wanted us to know? What if? These are just questions we ask ourselves. If you're ready to grow, you're willing to deal with the answer. And this is a question that I've been asking myself a lot lately. Now, some people are not ready to hear these questions or even have these conversations because they're still holding on. But if you're a chosen one, you're chosen to eventually let go of something sooner or later. And if you're surrounded by people, family, friends, habits, whatever it may be, you might have to ask yourself a question. What is it about this matrix that I struggle to let go the most? What is it about this matrix that I struggle to let go the most? Because normally when you let something go in this matrix that is no longer serving you or has you so tied to the matrix, when you let that go, you normally rise the highest that you ever could rise. And for many of us, in this day and time, one of our biggest attachments is food. Now, if we think about food, family, think about all the occasions that you ever went to, all the occasions which we deem as fun, the banquets, the birthday parties, the vacations, the the funerals, the weddings, all of these things, holidays, are tied to food. Okay? For some of us, including myself, when I began fasting, even if I wasn't hungry, I would eat something just because it was the habit of just munching on something. Then I realized this could be a problem. Now, my higher self said, if you are going to move to the next level and you have to let this food go, are you able to do it? Because if you are, you'll go to your higher state. If you're not, you'll stay where you are and you'll continue to learn lessons until you get that food is part of the matrix. Your higher light body doesn't need food. You see? You don't really need it. Now, the good thing about this sun right now is the more you are out in this sun, the less you need to eat food if you're of that frequency, right? This is not happening to everybody. So if this is happening to you, consider yourself on the up and up, special. One of them, one of us. Because some people can sit outside in the sun and go eat a cheesesteak right after that. No problem. No problem. And won't feel no type of way in the body about it. If one of us eat a cheesesteak, see if we're not sick for 2 days after that. If you're not putting your feet on the earth, charging up on both ends, you may have some problems. But right now, we should be fasting. Not eating at all. Okay? Now, what you consume on a fast is up to you. But I'll tell you what I consume on a fast. It doesn't break my fast. I'll consume little bits of honey. I'll consume tea. I'll consume trace mineral drops with Celtic sea salt in my water. I'll consume Shilajit, vitamin X, parasite destroyer, and neurocognizance. That's what I'll consume on my fast, and I'll spread it out throughout the day. Now, I also have noticed that, and if anybody has wanted to chime in on that, have you noticed that, and this is for people who have fasted, right, or are fasting, have you noticed that as the days go along, when you're fasting, if you have a consistent amount of sun, supplements, tea, Celtic sea salt, trace minerals, the grounding, and all that, has your strength increased, or have you lost a tremendous amount of body fat or muscle mass? Now, I've noticed, I did a little experiment on myself for the past, I think, 45 days. This is the first day I really started to work out again. And I have looked at my body, and it really hasn't changed that much. In 45 days of not a push-up, barely a squat, maybe some basketball every one. I played basketball like 3 times in 45 days. 3 times. And I feel lighter. I feel stronger. I can jump higher. I'm more energetic. I don't get tired as often. And that sunlight is a serious source of food for y'all right now. So if you feel like you need to get that out of your body, that gunk out of your body, it's time to just let go of the food, consume what I said to consume, and you'll see what happens to your body. We're moving to a time where we don't have to do these things anymore. And it may seem difficult for some people to fathom because they're still holding on. The only reason why you would get upset about information is because you're still tied to it. You still are connected to it. But if you are able to separate your emotions from the information, you'll really learn some things. Do you see? Yeah, I think, yeah, hey. A lot of our, if you look at the statues in Kemet, they weren't really that muscular. I don't really remember seeing too many muscular, like big brolic statues. I don't really remember too many of those. I don't. Why is this plane so low? You know, every time I go live, this happens. Very, very, very low. But yeah, back to the regular scheduled programming. Holding on to your sexual energy is also vital as well. When you let your seed go, you will feel drained like no other. So you need your solar energy, fellas. You need your solar energy. But if you have an issue with food right now, it's making you too dense to ascend. And the energy that it's taking for you to ascend and to digest food at the same time, you got to choose. Do you want to ascend faster, less pain, right? Or do you want to allow the food to hold you down? Because the heavier the food, the more uncomfortable it is. Sometimes I've talked to people and they said when they eat food, it just sits in their stomach or they instantly get bloated. It don't matter what they eat, even if it's fruit, because the fruit has microscopic parasites on it. Yes, it does. It has microscopic parasites on it that does not come to life. It doesn't basically grow until it enters into the water in your body. And if anybody wants to go back into some movies to see where you may have saw this before, because remember, they put all this stuff in movies first. And as you move on in life, the more conscious you become, the more you're able to go back and see where I saw that before. And if you want to watch this movie tonight, you'll understand parasites at a whole different level. And that movie is Faculty. Okay? Faculty, The Faculty. You watch that movie, and you'll see how you think about parasites then. Okay? But it's in all the food. I don't care what you say. Unless you're planting and growing your own food. Somebody asked me, am I planting and growing mine? No, it's still somewhat winter over here. It's getting nicer because of the sun. It's making everything, and they're trying to chemtrail, but it keeps on going away. But I haven't got a chance to do that yet. But I don't feel like I'm need to do that anyway, because I'm not going to be eating anyway. You know? So yeah. The movie is called The Faculty. Watch that. Watch that. Yep. Watch that. Yeah. Also, throughout this ascension, your emotional state is very important right now. So you may find people or situations that will try to or attempt to trigger your emotional state to get a reaction out of you. Now, if you're not able to look inside of yourself to understand why you have this emotional state, fix it, transmute it into something else, this emotional state will also lower your frequency as well, because you're allowing something external to affect internal, which is your whole world. The way you view the world, the way you view other people messing with you, all depends on you. It doesn't depend on them. Somebody can say something to you, and it may even hurt a little bit, but if you're able to control the way you feel about what they said, you're able to rise. And you'll see how fast you rise if you learn transmutation. At this time, we are being tested like no other by everybody who is of a lower frequency. Everybody will pick at us right now. So it's very important to use this for your ascension. You can flip it on them. Going out in public is difficult. I use it as a test sometimes. I go out in public just to test how strong I'm becoming. Because what I've noticed that for a lot of chosen ones, we isolate ourselves from the public. But how do we work on our abilities if we do that? Now, it's good to isolate yourself sometimes, but I was of the ilk that I had to isolate myself from everybody. But I wasn't getting stronger when I did that. I wasn't ascending when I did that. So I went out there. I don't go in clubs or nothing like that, no bars, nothing like that. I'm just saying like out, right? Restaurant, whatever it may be, at times, or just out in public, hotels. See, I'm at the hotel a lot, by the beach. I'm around people, and I'm using the situation around me to be able to influence what's inside of me by not letting those blatant things that are coming in my circle affect me. Do you see? So I'm not telling y'all to do it. I'm just telling you what I've done to strengthen my ability to deal with my emotional state, because the most people who are most emotional normally are the best manifestors. When we are able to flip our emotional state into manifestation, this is why we always had a heightened emotional state to begin with. It was supposed to be manifesting. We're some of the best magicians. We just don't have a hang or a handle on it yet. Do you see? So if you are able to flip this emotional state into a manifestation, it will be major. Sit in meditation and take that same emotion that person tried to anger you with, internalize it back to self, visualize where you want to go, and feel that emotion of when you get there. Right? One of the biggest things about law of attraction is creating your reality, right? And even though other people around you may not believe the reality you're creating, as long as you can see it in your mind's eye, it will come true, because anything is possible, correct? So that means that if anybody externally doesn't have control over you and you go inside, you are creating your own world. And the world I'm trying to create is the one where I can fly, the one where I can get back to my abilities. That's the world I'm trying to create. And many of us are trying to create that same world, which means if we collectively create, right, co-collectively create, then we will be there much faster. So tonight, when you get by yourself and you sit by yourself, right, you sit and you put your hands together anyway, whatever mudra you want to do, whatever mudra you want to do. I don't care, whatever mudra you want to do, right? Whatever feels like you need to do this mudra or this mudra, right? Whatever mudra you want to do or this mudra, right? Whatever one you want to do, and you visualize yourself at the state that you can see in your mind's eye, right? Omnipresence in all spaces, right? And you feel how it is to feel like that, right? Right there, wherever you are. I have this vision of me in the backyard. I have a fro, and I'm levitating next to my pool in all white, levitating in lotus position. I can't do lotus right now. I can't levitate right now, but I'm seeing it for years. So it must be there for a reason. Visions just don't come to you for nothing. Premonitions just don't come to you out of nowhere. It's because it's already happened in another space, and it's up to your present space to get there by continuing to emotionalize that future state, which is present somewhere else. You see? But if you let people influence your emotions right now, they can stop your ability to manifest because you're focused on what they just did to you and how they made you feel. But if you take that energy of anger and you flip it into yourself, you're able to create that world for yourself. Because we are being tested. You see? Many of us are already master manifestors anyway. Let's keep it a buck. We just manifesting the things we don't want. Very good. We have to realize that we have all the control. We always did. The trick was to make us think that we didn't have the control. And the test is to believe we have control again and to move in that space. Move as if you control everything in your life. If you walk with your head down, walk with your head up. If you walk with your shoulders slumped like this, put them back when you walk with your head up. Walk with confidence. People already know who you are, but they like when you don't know who you are. It's not a coincidence that when you go out, everybody's looking at you. When you walk in the room, everybody turns their head. It's not a coincidence. You are that one. There are not many of us out here. I'm not even going to tell you how many I think, because y'all not going to believe me. But it's not many. It's not that many of us out here. Because some people have difficulty listening to information that you always didn't get from the book. Books are not where all the information is. And people have difficulty listening to somebody that didn't get all the information from a book. We're moving into the space where you don't have to do that as much. And when you move into that space, watch how much you'll get. It'll be more than the books. You'll just know. You'll just know the answers to certain questions. You'll talk to people and know how to help them instantly. Question, answer, just like that. It'll come that quick. You'll be around people, right? And you will know their whole life. You'll know every bad they did. You know if they're a good person. You'll even see it sometimes. See their acts sometimes. You'll know their character. You'll just know it. And the closer you get to a person, let's say 3 feet, the more you can feel everything about them. Their invisible jacket, which is their auric field. You'll be able to feel that. Then what you do is play the aura cleanse frequency or the reverse and dark forces frequency to push that away from you. You see? Experience is the best teacher. That's why they put it, and it's funny, they put it in all the words too, like, all right, experience makes you an expert. See? Expert, experience. It's right there in the word. It's right there. You know? It's right there. As the sun's a little chemtrail and I feel less heat because they covered it with their little reflective nanotechnology or whatever they want to call it. You know? Yeah. But, you know, we transmute anyway. We transmute anyway. But aren't you curious about what your body can really do? Aren't you curious about what your mind can really do? Because this matrix is for the birds. It's boring. It's a school. All right, but I'm ready to go to the next level, so I'm willing to do whatever it takes now. Either you're gonna move. Listen, either you're gonna move when you're in pain, or you're gonna move when you hurt. But there's two kinds of pains. One that changes you and one that hurts. Whatever one you're gonna move in, don't let it get to the part where it hurts. Let it go to the one that changes you. Because it's two kinds of pain. I'll go through both. Not the hurt part as much though. You know? Use your anger. If you're mad, use your anger for creativity. You know, somebody told me that my anger wasn't a good thing. This supposed sage of some sort that's been doing it for 30 years, but some of you are older than some of the individuals you're getting advice from. And sometimes when they give you the wrong advice, it's an opportunity to look inside of yourself to get the right advice from you. Because when they give you advice, you can feel as if it's wrong. And if you trust in yourself enough, you'll go with your inner voice, knowing that you always led you in the first place. And sometimes you look for some people to confirm things inside of you. And then when they don't confirm, you're like, you know what? I'm not listening to that. I'm going to go ahead and look inside myself real quick because I always had the answers in the first place. You see? I think that's an owl. But I'll never see owls. But I hear them all the time. There was one over my house the other day, right next to my window. But I'll never see them. Owls are some slick. They slick. Owls are slick. Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all ever see owls? Do y'all ever see them though? Like, where do they go in the daytime? They're still sitting in trees, but how come they can hide so well as if they cloak themselves? I'm just spitballing here, but do y'all see owls? I hear them all the time. I heard one next to my window. I was going through some type of a trance or something, and I heard one, but I'll never see them. But they out here. Fake ones. Yeah. Yeah. I think they're out here. I saw a few. I saw one out here when I was driving down the street. I saw one. It was big too. It was gigantic, flying, going through some woods. You know? Yeah, they're pretty big. They're pretty big. I saw a white one. Oh, and I forgot I don't think it was an owl though. It was white though, but I don't think it was an owl. It was big though. They come in flashes. Yeah. Just a very rare bird right there. Super predators too. I don't know how I got on the owl, but you always, when I'm outside, you always see something around me. Whether it's my cat or something, a dragon, I don't know. You know, gnomes. I see gnomes running around here sometimes. They'll come in and out of they cloak themselves. They'll come in and out of that. You know, some of y'all may have been seeing certain things. I see a lot of videos out here. People are starting to see a lot of weird occurrences in the sky. I can't wait till we move to that space, though. But like I said, control your emotional state so you can move to where you have to go. It's all about your emotional state. It's all about your emotions. And I've noticed that people have been really trying me. So, yeah. Yeah. Any spiritual connections with owls, I've heard they're bad. I don't think anything that is naturally occurring in nature bad. Listen, bad or good, right? Perspective is everything. So most of the things that we know as bad are bad for the people who consume our energy. So they teach us it's bad so we don't go to it. If you think from the Godhead, you always ask yourself questions like, why is it bad? Why is it bad? Why is it bad? And who said it's bad? Let me look into that a little deeper. Magic. This is a form of magic right here. This is a form of sorcery right here. To be on your device, in your hand, while I'm at my house is a form of sorcery. But because we're so comfortable with this sorcery, let's say if somebody had a bunch of seashells and threw them on the ground and said, I can see your future, you'll say that's bad. You'll say that's bad because those are ancient ways. But come to find out, this cell phone is also our ancient ways. You can use it for good or use it for bad, right? But this cell phone was around as well. That Wi-Fi sign that you saw and you see in your upper right side camera, that was around in Kemet. That was on the walls. That Wi-Fi sign. Nothing new under the sun, family. Nothing new under the sun. Yep. Any tips on astral projection? I've almost done it once, and it was when I was listening to sound frequency. Man, I would. Okay, so in order to go into astral projection, you have to enter into sleep paralysis. But some people are able to do it without sleep paralysis. And then when you go on sleep paralysis, when you finally get there, you can try the rope technique, where you're visualizing your astral body, hands pulling the rope out of your body. That's another one. Another one, I have a sound frequency that actually gets you out of your body. It's called astral projection. And you play that high tune frequency, and it's going to push you out your body. And if it doesn't push you out your body, that means you have to focus on your energy. So there are many ways to astral project. Many, many ways. Many ways. And it's funny that people say owls were bad because they used to use owls for messengers, I think in the movie Harry Potter. So they kind of showed you that owls were helpers. They're very intelligent and they were helpers. So you see those movies, even though they put different faces on the characters, they still use the animals. They also use the owls in what's that other movie? Lord of the Rings. They use a lot of birds in there, a lot of messengers in there as well. So the animals are they're good. The only thing in nature that I really don't like is a mosquito, because I don't feel like mosquitoes are from nature. I don't. I feel like they bite us, they take samples, and they take it back to the labs to see how far we've ascended. That's my download on mosquitoes. I don't see any use for them in nature whatsoever. I just don't. The only thing in nature I don't like is mosquito. Yeah, go with your intuition. That's right. That's right. I was visited by 2 elf children at the dragon activation yesterday, and they showed me a manuscript with 5 dragon knights battling against a dark type of dragon, which was large. Can we talk about the dragon real quick? So, yeah, a lot of people think that the dragons are bad, but I want you to understand that there are good dragons and there are bad dragons. And the good dragons are rising, the ones that want to help humanity. But there are 2 different types, polar opposites on everything. Polar opposites. So if you have had that visit by the elves after the dragon activation, we are working together behind the scenes that we don't realize what we're doing. When I give you a dragon activation on here, it's for something. And everybody has a different... One person can hear the dragon activation on one side, another person can hear it over here, and you'll both have something different happening to you. And we all work together when we do this. So yeah. Somebody said, where can I do my research? Inside of yourself. A lot of the books about dragons don't feel accurate to me. Not when I read them. I'm like, nah, that don't feel right. Nah, that don't feel right. That don't feel right. Nope. All right, let me just go ahead and get it inside. Inside of here. You see? Everybody wants to do research on something that's going to come out of you or not. There are ways to get it. Dragon information shouldn't be given freely to anybody who wants it either. There are certain types of information that everybody does not meant to get. So if it's difficult to find, that means it's not for you. You see? That's all I'm saying. Like, it shouldn't be for everybody. Back in the ancient days, we didn't give the information to just everybody. Just because they was able to find it does not mean they're able to use it, or they should be using it at all. Because with the level of consciousness on this planet, everybody would not use magic correctly if they had it in their hands. Which is why certain of us get initiated with certain magic, and then they'll see how we use it. And if we use it righteously, because nobody's watching, you're not watching me when I'm going to my house or when I'm moving out here, but they're watching me. So when you get more, that means you deserve more. when you get less, they're watching to see what you'll do with it. If you're somebody who lives in fear, right, and you're somebody who doesn't want to share it, or you're somebody who wants to hoard or charge everybody for every little thing, they're watching like, okay, we're at a point in this state where it's not about money. We understand you chosen ones got to survive, but you want to charge people for every little thing that you do, then we don't really want you, because all you're going to do is charge the people, and you realize that everybody can't pay. But we have to have a mass awakening right now, so we need somebody who's going to do it beyond the money. And they're watching you. They're watching to see how much character you have. They're watching to see, are you going to take advantage of this particular gift that you have? They're watching. They're watching. So, chosen people are chosen to do something. Once you realize you're a chosen one, it's time to ask yourself a question. What is it I'm supposed to do here now? Otherwise, you're not a chosen one. Real shit. You know? Real shit. You're not. You're just watching on the sidelines. And like I said, listen, many are called. Many are called. Many are called. Few are chosen. And people don't like to hear that stuff. But I'm about to say a lot of things y'all don't like to hear, because I know it's true. But it don't feel comfortable to hear. I know it don't. It wouldn't feel comfortable for me to hear, but I wouldn't get in my feelings. What I would do is I would do something with that information and say, okay, yeah, I ain't doing nothing. What should I do? Well, I don't know what I should do. Well, stop calling yourself a chosen one until you know what you should do. Until you know what you should do, stop calling yourself a chosen one. For real. Well, that's something. I can feel you over here too, homie. Yeah. Yeah. Are you willing to be called crazy? Are you willing to put the information out? You are divinely protected. So, all right, Z-Lock 9, right? You say you're chosen for war. You know, I would like to speak on that briefly. The war aspect. Man, the war aspect. I feel like that too, bro. That's one of my biggest missions here. We about to get busy. Just continue to train and work on yourself. Many of us are going to be knowing what we got to do. We'll be a part of that too. And some of us will be able to lift it up. Because one person hit me up about 6 months ago, and she was like, and she made a lot of sense too, because I didn't think about this. She said, well, you're a warrior and you're chosen for the fight to get it back, which is not going to be too much of a fight at all, but they'll try their best. When that is over, then what do you do? I'm like, you're right. But that's where other chosen ones come in. So we can sit back and relax, because we can warn our lives, and y'all can help us build. That's why we need scientists, builders, teachers, nurturers, wives, husbands. We need all that stuff. But somebody got to do dirty work. Somebody got to do it. Why not be me? Why not be you? So, yeah. That's what I feel about the war. Because you can't have peace without war. That's the problem, people, man. Everybody want to get out there and picket or try to go in their system and train. You can't change nothing in the system that's not designed for you to win. You can't change anything in the system which is not designed for you to win. None of that protesting BS. None of that talking BS. Everybody talks about the problem, but nobody's talking about solutions. What can you do to change your frequency? I saw a video the other day with Nick Cannon and Dr. Umar Johnson. It was called, Council Culture. That's what it was called, right? And Umar, he's really good about talking about the problem and talking about the situation amongst us as melanated people. But when Nick Cannon asked him about, okay, we understand all the problems and we get it, but now we're at the next stage of what it is we do about it. What do we do? How do we fix this? And every solution he had to fix it was inside of their system. How do you go inside of their system and fix it? I don't see it. And if you're a chosen one and you've been thinking bigger, deeper, look at it from a up top perspective. Like, look at it, bird's eye view. System, school, problem, everybody. How do I become in that school? I'm just part of the problem because I'm reteaching the curriculum to them, like a police officer. How can you be a good police officer if you're in a system that comes from slave catchers? The whole system got to go. The whole thing. How come we don't talk about that? How come we don't talk about that? Because it's dangerous? Because it's scary? How come we don't talk about that stuff? Because people are scared. They scared. You see what I'm saying? How will such and such be overthrown? Listen, it's not going to be that difficult. Not when we come to knowledge of what we are. Their time is already up. The new year is beginning next month, and you will see what time it is. But once we have our information, the talking will be over, and it will be time to make our move. Simple as that. Simple as that. But if you think about your psyche, if you think about your programming, to hear somebody talking about that, doesn't it touch you somewhere like, ooh, war, take over, You see? Or if you talk about it in public with people who are of this program who pretend to dislike the program, but when you talk about things to really dismantle it, they really shut down or dismantle anything in the program. They'll dismantle within their comfort zone, but will they dismantle for real? Like, not do anything that fuels this society. And the only problem with us is we just don't have our abilities. So we do our best, we mean well, but we are doing the best we can with what we have because we don't have what we used to have, but we will, and we are getting that. But it can't just be one person doing it. It's got to be a lot of us. One person is not enough. People looking at one person to do it is not enough, and I think we got too used to that because that comes from the whole church thing, the leader aspect, which is why when you offed one of us, the rest of us didn't know what to do. But what if each of us look inside of ourselves and become our own leader? How could you stop us then? How could you do that then? I know, and many other black people, melanated people know, that when you're speaking, they know if you get we know if I know if I get taken out, y'all probably be upset for like a day or two and y'all go back to your lives. Real shit. I know it already. I came here knowing that fact, but I'm willing to risk that too. You have to understand that whenever you really want to stand for something, you're going to risk something to get something of value. And our land is of value. Our earth and our realm is of value. The problem is people won't lose or be willing to risk anything to gain that, but want to complain about everything. How do you do that? My mindset is this. I don't like complaining unless I'm working to the solution. Then I have the right to complain because I'm doing something about it. But if I'm not moving in that light to fix the problem, I need to shut the fuck up. My mindset, right? My mindset. Too many people complain, making them feel like they're doing something about the problem, but they're not moving anywhere. They're complaining, standing still in concrete. No. If you're complaining, that means you should be moving, right? Because if you're not moving, you're talking. In life, you're 3 C's. Matter of fact, I'm putting everybody to the test right now. In life, in your life right now, you are 3 C's at all times. Complacent, complaining, or competing at all times. Which one are you right now? I know me, I'm competing. The only way I'm rising in this world is if I'm competing, right? But many people are complaining or complacent. If you're competing, you feel the best you've ever felt. Your vibration is the highest because you're always striving to be more. When you're complacent, you feel the worst because you're not doing nothing and you're standing still. And when you're complaining, you're in a delusion of words that appear to do something, meanwhile they're doing nothing. You're tricking yourself by what you say and do nothing about. So, somebody asked, do I smoke? Weed helps me activate my chakras, and I go deep into a deep high frequency meditation. It's about transmuting the high into the knowledge that we have within. From time to time, I'm being instructed, because I won't, if I do it, I'll do like one pull out of a pipe, and that's it. That's all I need for the whole day. One pull out of a pipe, and I normally make myself cough because it activates me deeper. But I've been instructed for the next couple days to allow whatever's coming through, come through. But I will partake from time to time in that plant medicine of cannabis. Yes, I will. And I don't need much. I don't be sitting there smoking and all day. Like, listen, one pull, one intention, and one deep dive for the entire day. And I'm locked in. And nobody would ever even know it. Because I'm not this guy that's going, ooh, stupid. I'm locked in. Like, when chosen ones be smoking, right, we smoke, that, and you don't abuse the plant medicine, because the plant medicine itself knows if you're abusing it, right? If you're not abusing it, you'll get some of the best information from plants. Some people's perspective are against the plants. I'm not against the plants because I used to be a shaman in my previous life, so I used to use plants. And many of your ancestors used plants. The problem is they demonized it in this world, but meanwhile, people are popping Advil medication every day. Or last time, eat that little Debbie's cupcake. That's drug. That's drugs right there. That's drugs. Drink Kool-Aid, that's drugs. Drink soda, that's drugs. Drink alcohol, that's drugs. How do you look down on anybody if you're using any of those substances, and then a person takes one pull of weed or smokes weed and you look down on them? It's so strange. It's the programming. Thoughts on acid. Did before and seen what I assume as a dome. Yeah, I've never done acid. I've never done the LSD stuff. I've never done that. I never really felt called to it. But I hear some interesting experiences on, I don't like the word acid. I'll just say LSD. So yeah, I've definitely heard about it. But I've done DMT, I've done Bufo, I've done Sananga, I've done San Pedro, I've done Sapo, I've done ayahuasca, shrooms, changa, iboga, ibogaine, many plant medicines to tap into a different space, because I was really searching. See what I'm saying? What's your perspective on psychology from a spiritual perspective? The Hermetic principles. Because, it's funny. It's funny that when you speak on a psychology aspect, right? Because I never felt inclined to go to a shrink. And now I know why. As I became more conscious into the knowledge of self, my higher self said, why would you go to a psychologist who's taught how to help you from somebody who doesn't understand your true psychology and how you function? Right? We're learning everything from somebody who does not understand us on the deepest aspects of what we are. These people are taught to help us talk to them and teach us what they've been taught by somebody else. Nah. From a spiritual perspective, it's great. From a matrix perspective, it's terrible. So, no, I'm out with the psychology aspect. Psychology, sociology, I don't want none of that stuff. Nope. Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with the Blue Lotus. Tea. Some people smoke Blue Lotus, too. I'm familiar with it. Yep. I went to one last year, and they went into schizophrenia. I didn't understand intuition. I said nope, and just reach out and find great platforms now. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you do what you want to do, but stop eating and see what happens. Stop eating and see what happens to yourself. Become a leader inside of yourself. Manifest your reality, and don't let other people make you react. And if you feel like if you drink and you drink wine or something like that, because if you do drink wine is probably the all you probably can. But if you do, and I don't recommend you do right now, because many of you are open portals, and when you drink too much, it could bring something to you. Be very careful with that. Right now isn't the time for alcohol consumption, out-cool consumption. The spirit out-cool consumption right now. We're going through a hell of a shift, so it's best to be focused on that. All natural sources if you need to. And if anybody wants natural sources of supplements, go to the link in my bio, go to my website, earthlelevation.com. I got some good stuff for you. You know what I mean? Do you believe one can be born cursed for listen, we got karma, right? We got karma. That's why I don't be feeling emotional when something happens to somebody or somebody young, because that could have been their karma from their past life. If you look at it from the higher perspective, you're like, okay, there's a reason why this person is going through that right now. Maybe if you interfere with that karma, you can get some of that karma. You catch contact. So be careful who you interfere with, whose karma you interfere with. I don't believe people are born cursed, though. I believe people are born with more karma than others sometimes, depending on their last life. If you was a murderer in your last life, you're gonna have to deal with that in this life. You're gonna have to deal with that. So I don't really feel any type of way about anything that happens in this matrix to anybody, because we all have a mission and we all agreed upon this life before we got here. We all said I want this life good and bad, because bad is good. So because it's all experience, and if you look at it from a higher perspective of source, it's an experience. Even if the present state may feel pain, loss, burden, whatever it may be, it's still an experience. And if you look at things as source looks at them, you don't take things personal. And as we get back to the energy that we once were, connected to source directly, and the knowledge of being connected to source, we do not find anything to affect us to that degree, as if it's going to influence our energy. We learn how to desensitize ourselves from certain things with knowledge of self, and to use our emotional state when it serves us. Empathic when it serves us. See? But I feel physical pain every day, so I try to look at it from a perspective. Hey, I wouldn't listen. If you look at it from the perspective as you deserve it, then you deserve it, because you are God, right? So that means you deserve it, because you just create the perspective of that you deserve it. If you want to get out of this pain, change your perspective and change what you say to yourself. The most important conversation you have is the one with yourself. You see? What is the best way to get a hold of our own Akashic records? Is it sober or high during sleep? There's a lot of ways to get a hold of your Akashic records. It's a lot of ways. It's a lot of ways, family. A lot of ways. A lot of ways. Whatever. Okay, I just saw you, buddy. You were tall. You ain't slick. Yeah. At the end of the day, I got a hold of mine through shrooms, and then it kept me tapped in at all times. So yeah. As you fast too, I've noticed that on the fast, I'm able to see more things as well. Like beings that were normally cloaked around me, the longer I fast, the easier it is to, or the more I fast, more consistently I fast, which is every day, I see things now. Okay? So, at the end of the day, do what you want to do. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. I'm about to get up out of here. Sun is gone, so I'm going. All right? I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.